Hey guys, this is the donkey with the headphones. Just advising you to stay inside, keep your social distancing and all that, and stay safe, man. Anyway, here's the other two fucks.
The bloody donkey with headphones got us demonetized from the off. Bastard.
I hope not.
You called us fucks.
Well, what else is new?
Look, we wanted you to win 6 weeks ago. You
Yes,
didn't. Sorry.
we tried. Yeah, here we are again.
The calm. I was going to say the calm before the storm. The storm's happening now because.
Okay, before we get started, no more. I know what we got to do. I don't want to talk about it at all. I literally just want to talk about what's going on as it pertains to things, but I don't want to talk about the things because I'm done with it.
No, I wasn't talking in generality. I was talking about just WrestleMania.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh,
WrestleMania. I'm done with it.
I see.
I am basically being talked into doing these shows next weekend just out of sheer boredom and morbid curiosity.
Nobody else is doing anything. Well, no, I take that
That's,
back. We've got really good racing that's getting 1 million viewers on like Fox Sports. Marble racing, which has become the ultimate sort of hit for everybody on YouTube and places like that. And that's about it. Otherwise, it's just old stuff that the channels are rerunning because they need to fill their sports stations up with something. Otherwise, it's just dead air for a lot of time.
which, for the most part, for me at least, that's not that much from the truth.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, lots of things are going on right now, and I want to talk about some bright spots that are happening currently.
We'll get to them because let's wallow through the bad bits.
Well, before we get started, I do want to mention something real quick. So, a long time ago, when we were doing the wrestling podcast on the regular, doing the Monday show, the Wednesday show, the pay per view shows, which I may be inclined to start doing this after everything is back to normal, but we'll see. I will state right now that I was always influenced by a podcast out of Toronto, Canada, called The O Show. And I've taken a lot of O isms, if you will, a lot of O language, lingo, if you will. And that's kind of how I wanted to do this show. Now, granted, I don't curse on this show. If I do, it's something that's very, very, very rare that you probably could not find many times I've actually cursed on the show. But the thing about it is, I like to call us locker room radio to like for the O show and the thing like saying shoot and work and stuff like that. That's O show stuff. Well, recently, after a long, and I mean a long time being gone, Big Daddy Donnie, Danny O, and Notorious TID got back together this past week and they did another podcast. So I got the O Show group of old somewhat back together.
Oh.
And if you like pop culture, obviously, if you're watching this network, you probably do. If you like pro wrestling, if you like mixed martial arts, if you like what's going on in the world and you just want to listen to three guys who are just absolutely hilarious and know what they're talking about, check out The Godfathers of Podcasting. It's on Facebook. If you want to check that out, as definitely something they're going to be doing a live show. I think it's 7 p.m. on the 1st of next month. So in 3 days. So I definitely want to throw out a shout out to Big Daddy Donnie, Danny O, and Notorious TID because part of the reason I do wrestling shows are because of them. And of course, WNL, because I can't forget that.
Mm-hmm.
Can't forget Wrestling News Live either, because obviously that's the reason why we do this in the first place. Like Ashley and I know each other because of WNL, so
Mm-hmm. The good
yeah,
old
I definitely
days.
wanted to. yeah, I want to throw a shout out to everyone just right now. What's going on? Just for, no, we're going to talk about fun stuff right now, and we're going to try to enjoy ourselves for the next couple of hours. Maybe laugh a little bit at the fact that I don't watch much wrestling anymore, except for the letters AEW and GCW, and GCW is kind of taken away right now. So I've obviously am thinking about purchasing independent wrestling television at this point because I got nothing else to do for the next month, so I might as well.
Their whole thing of having a string of live matches every day is a nice little thing.
Totally. Yeah.
Um, we'll get to the we'll get to what I think was a standout from a week last, and it's nothing to do with WWE and slightly to do with AEW, I guess. We'll get to that.
We'll talk about it. So yeah, since what do you want to call this? Performance center sale mania?
What's it called?
Performance sale mania?
Wendy's place? What is it?
PC sale mania? Super Gabby?
You already know.
You already
You
know.
already know. I swear that.
Marty Scurll's
I swear
response when he pulled that gun out.
Super Gabby shared a set with Teddy Hart at some point.
Oh my god.
What's going on there? Because I don't
Go
already know.
yourself. You already know.
I don't.
Come on, talk to me. Pulling out that fake toy gun and Marty Scurll laughing hysterically in the background. Shout out to the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast. That's one thing that's also been getting you through these days too.
um. So the key things from Raw to bring up. Brock Lesnar was there. So all that stuff about is he going to be able to make it in from Canada? I guess he stayed over in America for a week before going back to Canada and staying there.
They're probably all staying. Like, I don't think they might be staying in Orlando, but maybe not. Hotels are closed right now, so they're going to have to find places like near between Full Sail and the Performance Center that they can do it. So it could be someplace in Orlando, but I don't know exactly where. I know everybody is at one hotel right now. That's all I know.
Well, that's of course the issue because everything's been
Yep.
filmed up to April 8th. With the
Next month,
idea
yes.
being that April 10th will be a live SmackDown.
Yeah, they're still talking about the 7th being that Tuesday at Full Sail as well.
Well, that's in because apparently the lockdown isn't getting lifted until at least the 10th.
Apparently, from what I was heard today when I was out looking for sip and snack items, which I have a lot of new ones now, thank you. When it comes down to it, there is this stuff that's going on right now. Shall remain nameless. It's apparently being extended until the 1st of not next month, but month after.
1st of May.
So May 1st, which of course is going to be the 8th year anniversary of Popcast Network. So that's when this stay far away, Jimmy Lloyd, Joey Janela, look at the shirt, you already know. Basically, when that is all over with. It's supposed to be the 1st of not next month, but the month after. I talk with my hands a lot. I'm noticing that so much
which
as I'm
would
looking
affect
at myself.
WWE for the next 3 weeks from after Mania.
Correct.
Because they're currently thinking that they're going to be able to do a live show, even if it's behind closed doors, on the 10th when it's supposedly getting lifted.
And they still might be able to, depending on the circumstance. Well, it's not really lifted. It's the fact it's more keeping your away from everyone.
Yeah.
It's not really like there's like a gag order to stay in your house or anything like that. But I mean, I don't want to talk about this. When it comes down to it, we're just trying to get a work around it. The thing is, it's like it's going to affect a lot of things, not just the mom and pop indie promotions, which thank God there's GoFundMe and things like that. Screw you, Braun Strowman. Thing is,
He
I
regrets his comments now.
I know he
To be
does,
fair,
but he only regrets his comments because he got caught. The thing is, when it comes down to it, though, yeah, and you're gonna give him the WWE Championship just to make up for it. Good job, guys.
no.
Anyway, I God, I hope not. We'll talk about that in a bit. The thing is, it's like it's affecting everyone. It's affecting WWE, which obviously is going to have more shows in the can still. Apparently, they filmed a lot this week, and thankfully, AEW filmed a lot this past week too. So,
Apparently, yeah.
and also apparently, there's another location if worse come to worse that if they get bumped out of Daly's place, they can go somewhere else and film as long as they're able to keep that number up that they're allowed to keep.
We'll get to that then. So yeah, the it was annoying that they aired exactly the same promo that they did the previous week. Thankfully, there was the in-ring bit with Heyman.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem that was the current trend across Raw and SmackDown this whole week was the amount of times they mentioned too big for one night.
I mean, to quantify an historic mania with too big for one night, the same year that Wrestle Kingdom does it, obviously, but that's
Everybody
neither
keeps
here nor
doing that.
there.
Wrestle Kingdom didn't make it 2 nights because of COVID
No,
19, though.
no, they didn't. And the thing is, when it comes down to it, to quantify something to being your biggest, most historic event, obviously it's not going to be the biggest, but it's going to be the most historic given the circumstance, with basically a phrase that you could use to promote a candy bar, doesn't really work for me. And those shirts, seriously, that sounds like something Super Gabby would sell in a storage locker. Come on. You already know.
God damn it. Um,
Super Gabby would be brought up a lot during this podcast. I'll warn you guys up front. I've been watching this thing nonstop.
he's got a Power Ranger sword. That's all you need to know.
He's got that stomp filming life too. Jeremy Mills, welcome.
Oh, hello. Hang on, I'm trying to get my framing right so I can actually sit back here and be somewhat comfortable. That's about better. That's a bit
I
better.
feel like I'm watching a live stream of one of your snack stashes right now.
Yeah. Well, for you, yeah, but you know.
I can't see myself other than the screen, so I can still see chat, guys. So if you guys and girls out there that are watching want to put something in the chat, you're more than welcome to. We do feed off the live energy of the live crowd. Granted, I know these are last minute shows, but hopefully we'll see you guys and girls out there at Mania next
If we
weekend.
are going to be doing the whole, I was going to say watch along, but it's like reactions. I still haven't worked out how I'm going to do that because I'm going to want some sound on, but I'm going to need it quiet enough that it's drowned out by other people talking.
So Jeremy asked about the Charlotte and Rhea Ripley shirts. I'm not talking about the individual shirts for the matchups. Those are good because those are normal.
I mean,
But
yes, but the problem is there's too many of them.
yeah, let's buy shirts of an event we can't go to. We are all eBay sellers right now.
And the other issue now is the cost that's
Yeah,
cropped up. Some people are charging $60 for each show.
that's too
Some
much.
cable providers. One of them's charging 40 and then 60 for the other one. I think another one supposedly is charging 10 and then 60 for the other. The annoying thing is what WWE want is 60 or 70 or whatever for both. You get access to the feed for both days for that price.
And that's how they used to do it back in the days when they were doing the pay-per-views where you had to have the special box to buy it and you hit the button on your TV remote and you got access to buying that event, but you also get to have it for the next day and the subsequent replays as well.
It,
Like if you bought a pay-per-view back in those days, Ash, I don't know if you recall, but you remember watching it first live, and then afterwards you could watch the replay because you already have it purchased for that night.
Yeah. Certainly, that's how it used to be. They sort of put the restriction in within the last few years because it's like order the replay in case you haven't already seen it. I certainly know
Right.
with like the AEW pay per views and whatever, there is a sort of 30-day or so
Mm-hmm.
period you can watch it before they pull it off.
Right.
Um, but yeah, so they had that. The big thing was there was no Jerry Lawler.
I can understand why
Either they
though.
haven't, yeah, but my wonder is whether it's not that they didn't have Lawler out, but they wanted to save Lawler for just doing the Mania stuff.
I think actually, with anything, it has to do with his age.
I
More
mean,
and more
yes,
likely, what
but
I'm hearing is that.
I don't know. I don't know. I think partly I'm partly thinking that if they're doing so many show tapings over the few days, maybe Lawler wasn't available for some of them, so he would only commit to sort of being for maybe this week's Raw taping whenever it was done, or more likely the WrestleMania stuff.
I just think he's not there. Period.
Yeah, I'm hoping that, but because it's Vince,
Get me started about that crap. I
um,
mean, granted, that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. So.
they replayed Brock, Cena, and Rollins from Royal Rumble 2015, which was good because that actually was a good triple threat.
Mm-hmm.
Um, then the Boneyard match.
The timing on this is just horrendous right now.
So it's a graveyard match, but not buried alive, seemingly.
It sounds like they're going to fight in a soundstage, for all intents and purposes.
The only reason I say that is because Styles said I have the perfect place picked out. It'll be the same plot of land for that Michelle McCall picked out for when she buried Taker's career.
I just see this finishing. This is going to be in a soundstage. We're going to have fog everywhere. There's going to be an open pit. There's going to be a tombstone that's going to be there. It's going to say the Undertaker's name on it, Calloway and his shoot like age and everything like that, and AJ. And we're going to get to the end, and then Michelle McCool's going to be the one that knocks AJ into the. Going to slap him in the face, walks into a choke slam, tombstone, put him right in the hole.
I really want that to be a grave that says Claire Lynch, and
Oh
AJ's
God,
like, ah.
it's funny.
um, Street.
Real quick, actually, I got some I don't know breaking news, but I don't know if this is in the thing, but for later. But I found this on via thanks 411 Mania for having the fact. The timing for the pre-shows are going to be 6 p.m. leading into the shows on Saturday and Sunday.
So an hour for each.
That's what it looks like. Yes.
Which, if you take it as being a 2 hour pre show normally, splitting it over the two is fair. All 10 hours. Street Profits will be defending against Andrade and Angel Garza.
Nope. No, they won't. But
Well,
we'll get to that.
we'll get to that as well because with everything that's going on, I really don't know what's going on. Um, so Andrade and Garza and Ricochet and Alexander had a good match. We had the referee sort of making the mistake. Well, no, it wasn't the referee making the mistake. I guess it was Cedric not kicking out to lead
Yep.
into the hammerlock DDT.
Correct.
Also, Ricochet had completely shaved his beard off as well, which was I was a bit confused.
He's Prince Puma again. He's regressing.
Um, Angelo Dawkins, I think, was asleep. Montez was on form. Angelo was like, well, we know who's the talker in this stable, and then Angelo.
The thing about it is, Ashley, I never got the big hype about either the Street Profits or Heavy Machinery. I never got them at all, or why they're so over. I didn't like the Street Profits in NXT. I really didn't like the Heavy Machinery in NXT. I guess it's the fact that I tuned out when everybody got better. Is that what it is, basically?
um,
Same with like Mandy Rose and Carmella. These other characters I don't like and never have liked.
I mean, I'd probably say more than likely, yeah.
That makes sense.
Um, then the Street Profits beat Shane Thorne and Brendan Vink.
Yeah.
Because that happened.
Shane Thorne needs a tag partner, apparently.
He had one.
Yeah, he did. They got rid of him.
Then we had the clip that was the only bright point of the week, at least in terms of the Raw brand, I would argue. R-Truth getting the 24/7 title back off Randy Moss, as he called him,
I
and
normally would
stealing
like.
the referee's rental car.
I normally would hate the crap out of this, but honestly, given the fact
It's
of the
Ron
way that it was
Killings.
done, I have no problems with it.
Ron Killings is why that 24/7 title is actually good.
He's a nice guy. Really, really nice guy. Really, really nice guy. And I don't mean that the Dan Severn way I mean that he's a really nice guy, and I'm glad he has a job for life with WWE if he wants it. Because he's taken a belt that doesn't matter at all, and it's made into something that's important. He might as well have a toy replica title right now. That's about as much as that title means.
Then we had Shayna Baszler, who apparently left her jacket in the icebox because she sort of looked like that big, massive, didn't look right.
Mm-hmm.
And Lynch hit her with a chair from out of nowhere because that made sense. Leon Ruff versus Aleister Black, which was a squash match, but an entertaining squash match because Leon was sort of scared. Aleister Black got into his sitting position, and Ruff apparently said to the ref, can you make sure he gets on his feet, please? And the ref said, that's not my opponent, that's your opponent. And he, did him with Black Mass. But Leon Ruff made himself as an actual proper jobber, trying to get over himself. Owens and Rollins had their talking stuff. Rollins is always his best at Mania, and when the pressure is on, he's a god. Owens did very little, though, which was a bit of a shame. Then they re-aired Charlotte beating Asuka. And then the Orton promo. Oh, I mean, Edge was a junkie for the roar of the crowd, but he was really a junkie for his own ego. Adam Copeland was a junkie for Edge. We won the Intercontinental and World titles very quickly in his career, but it wasn't handed to him. We both faced Foley, but Foley didn't pass the torch. Edge got the torch, but Orton got put in a pile of thumbtacks, so he beat Foley and took the torch. Grit's being the constant in the locker room. He doesn't see anybody that's accomplished anything close to him. He did love Edge's daughters and tried sending him home for them, but now Edge wants a last man standing match, and Edge was writing his story, but Orton's writing the last chapter. It was a really good promo.
Yeah, it's this. I mean, as from
The
what I've
Last Man
heard, this is
Standing
one of
match
the
is
only.
one of the matches that I'm actually excited for.
Yeah, that's what people are telling me. When it comes down to it, that's the only thing that has really been booked properly moving forward.
And think how better that's going to sound with nobody there. It's going to be even more sort of personal. It's going to be like the whole empty arena sort of My Eye. With Funk and Lawler.
Oh, oh God, yes, absolutely.
That's what it's going to have to resort to. NXT, which we know that NXT was not live because the UK broadcast on BT ended 15 minutes early because they cut out the adverts for the last few segments. So, great. So Tyler Breeze beat Austin Theory in a good match. Tehuti Miles was against Killian Dane. That happened. Cameron Grimes beat Tony Nese. Then Aaliyah was going to face Zia Lee. But then Zia Lee was... Should we say Tonya Harding?
I'm okay with that.
Nancy Kerrigan? And Aaliyah's like,
Nancy
oh,
Kerrigan.
who knew? Which I guess means Vanessa Bourne was somewhere on the premises. Can we verify that? So it was like, oh, I guess, I guess I just get a free pass. And it's like, nope. Instead, you're facing Io Shirai. She's back. And Shirai won, which was good. But the weird thing is, I'd have thought you could have done a big thing about her being the mystery sixth person rather than doing a 6-person or 5-person match, with the last chance qualifier thing that they added in. So, then Keith Lee did his promo, and Dijakovic is saying, because he came out and said that Keith Lee was taking food off his family's plate, and I'm like, it's not the best thing to say, Dijakovic. Because I'm pretty sure there's other people that aren't actually getting money. And then Priest interrupted, so Priest, Dijakovic, and Lee are going to be having a triple threat, I think, next week. It might be 2 weeks, I can't remember.
I think it is next week, actually.
Then Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch beat Shane Thorne and Brendan Vink because they get a second chance. I guess they're only tag team partnering because they're both Australian.
That's the only thing that makes any sense to me.
And then we get the run through with no adverts. We had Candice LeRae beating Kaden Carter in a ladder match. Nice little promo afterwards on YouTube where the guy from 205 Live that does the commentary now that I can't remember his name. The guy
Vic Joseph?
No, the guy they got off. I think the guy that they got off House of Glory
Oh, okay.
recently asked Candice about the Gargano Ciampa situation, and she said, with respect, considering everything that they've put me through previously with their previous stuff, I'm not taking questions.
You mean John Quasto?
Yes, that's
Yep.
him. I never know his name, but it was him doing the interviews because I guess, nobody else available.
Yep.
This followed immediately. They said after the break it's Riddle versus Strong, and then it just went straight into it, and it's like, oh, no commercials. What's going on? I thought this was live. Nope. And only then did I notice the graphics in the corner said BT Sport. It didn't use the word live, so it was just like taped. Although I think they did it for SmackDown, even though that was taped. So, good job. Riddle beat Strong, good match. And then here come the Indians. So, a guy that's a television and movie star, or soon to be movie star, and the guy that was the inspiration for $1 Million Arm, that $1 Million Arm, that television thing,
Yeah. Right.
he's one of the two wrestlers.
Interesting.
They were there, and it was just like, I don't give a shit. And then Stokely Hathaway / Malcolm Bivens came out, and I'm like, this man has saved his tag team? Malcolm is finally on NXT television? I may give them a pass for it, except they just said these are the future of the NXT tag division, and I'm like, well, tell us who the fuck they are then, you bastard.
No, they didn't, from what
It's
I've
just
heard.
like Indian A and Indian B. They don't have names.
They don't have names yet, but they will.
Velveteen Dream versus Booby Foosh next week. Yeah, Keith Lee, Dijakovic, and Priest is the triple threat main event this coming Wednesday. And next Wednesday is the ladder match with the 6 women.
How did a ladder match get over with no crowd?
We'll see in 2 weeks because they filmed it. So Triple H, Ciampa, and Gargano had a pretty good little bit, with a feud. It should be end on the biggest stage, and Gargano said, no. Why should it? Tried to do it last year, Ciampa broke his neck. And, they just need a ring, a referee, and a camera. So, the great thing is, it's an empty arena match, and Triple H is like, I will find an empty building and put a ring in it. It's called the Performance Center.
They need. Here's the thing: they just need to have another venue if they're going to do an empty arena match when they're already doing empty arena shows. They need to have some sort of a gimmick to it.
Yes. Except, in a weird turn of events, considering, you're trying to build up to this match, the official confirmation of Killer Cross invaded the end of the promo with Killer Cross saying that the end times are coming. In hindsight, maybe not a good thing to have said.
There's a lot of things they're not. That's what we've said time and time again. Actually, they don't pay attention to what they're saying. They're looking at, this is the script for now, and this is what we're going to do anyway. Well, there's these things like this Boneyard match and the wording from Killer Cross's promo. Yeah, you probably should have rewrote that. You had some time.
Luke Harper, I want you to do a southern a backdrift southern accent. I can't do it, Vince. Well, just try. Tries to do it. Vince goes, that's terrible. Let's not do that. Literally goes to SmackDown or Raw or whatever it was, and it's still in the script. Do it in the accent. Vince never listens. La 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 la.
No, he doesn't. It's the reason why we're in a lot of the jams we're in right now.
So, on NXT UK, Imperium beat Ashton Smith and Oliver Carter. Then there's an NXT UK title #1 contenders battle royal happening. Alexander Wolf. Pretty Deadly made fun of Carter and Smith. Aoife Valkyrie beat Nina Samuels. They recapped Kaylee Ray attacking Danny Luna. So Niven and Luna will be facing Kaylee Ray and Ginny next week, apparently. Noam Dar beat A-Kid. It's good to see A-Kid sort of getting a chance, but my problem is, does that mean he's locked into the NXT system, which now can do nothing? Even more so. Please tell me they can. Please tell me they still have sort of indie stuff and T-shirts that they can sell, and they're not stuck any other way. And Devlin retained against Travis Banks the NXT True Cruiserweight title with a roll-up holding the ropes, which the referee never saw. So the 20-man battle royal for the number one contender for Volta's title will take place, which at this rate will apparently be happening in October in Dublin, because and then SmackDown.
Oh, real quick before you get into SmackDown, cause not much needs to be said about it. When it comes down to it, Ashley, how much do they still have in the can film for NXT UK?
From what I remember from the tapings, next week.
Okay, just checking.
I don't, and the problem is I don't know, because they're not key workers. I don't know how you could have any tapings at the UK Performance Centre.
Probably not.
So that might disappear.
Speaking of disappearing, let's go into SmackDown.
Sasha and Bayley coming out, not happy that it's a 5-way, and everyone's going, but it's a 6-way. So Lacey Evans is out, then Naomi's out, and then Tamina shows up, and everyone's like, and said actions speak louder than words, and attacked both Naomi and Evans. And then, of course, Sasha and Bayley go after Naomi. They don't bother attacking Lacey Evans. Just Naomi.
I don't know. Can you tell me why
Dark side
Jimmy...
of the ring. Can we change the layout and have the Jimmy Snuka possibly murdering his girlfriend on this week, just to really sort of emphasize why Tamina's...
That'd be a good idea, but I want to see the New Jack one.
Yeah, true. That's fair.
God, that's gonna be an awesome one.
Then we had Gulak and Bryan doing the chest thing correct, because Yuji Nagata... Last week when it happened, Yuji Nagata was like, this is rubbish. This week, he was like, this is good. Better. They've done better. They're impressed Nagata-san. That's good. Gulak beat Nakamura. Maybe with a little bit of assistance from Daniel Bryan. With some help. So Bryan versus Zayn is happening.
Yes.
Then Ziggler's on his phone
I will be very...
talking about Otis and Mandy Rose. Unclear who with. Is it Rude? Is it Sonya? And so Ziggler challenged Otis to a match at Mania and wanted Mandy in his corner. And although it is worth noting, during this there was the whole weird symbol thing again. Is it Ali? Is it not? Elias did a song from the Perch. Corbin beat him down, threw him over the railings, hit him with the scepter,
Lion
and
King.
Elias falls 14 million feet into the bottomless pit. Actually, no, he fell off. It was just there was just like a random Foley thud. And I don't mean Mick Foley, I mean sound.
Yeah.
And there's Elias on the floor, not even with his head bleeding.
Nope. He's just laying on
Because
the ground.
if he fell back like that and didn't protect himself, which he clearly didn't because his hands were like there or down, I can't remember exactly the placement, his head would be busted. I don't care if you have to black and white it. Make it look realistic. Add to realism. Local medical facility. Oh no. Nikki Cross is on commentary. Bright point of the show. Just being crazy. Hugging Michael Cole, and it's just like social distancing. Social distancing. Bliss and Asuka had a good match. So it looks like something's happening with that in terms of Mania.
Is it? Because there's so many reports that are saying that Asuka's going to have to miss Mania. So.
The report, well, we'll get to that. Then they replay Roman versus Triple H from Mania 32. Actually, no, they had the Usos promo first, but whatever. So Roman and Triple H was shown again. And then Triple H was interviewed by Cole now and said he's been in the ring with both. You know, Goldberg's intensity is short, but Reigns' intensity grows. If the match is quick, Goldberg's at the advantage. But if the bout goes long, he's betting on Reigns. That match is happening, people.
Why are they still promoting this match?
That match is
Seriously.
still happening.
Sure it is.
We'll see. That's going to be one of the last things we get to on the WWE front.
Get this stuff over
with. Ziggler speaking with Sonya, but then Mandy, doesn't like being, she doesn't want them to fight over her like she's a prize. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Then we had the Firefly Funhouse with Wyatt sort of having flashbacks to WrestleMania 30. And he needs a healthy drink to make him beat it. So, resentment gets poured in, hot sauce or whatever. And then Rambling Rabbit comes in with a carrot and he goes, No, what we need actually here is ignorant fans. And Rambling Rabbit gets grabbed and put in the blender. I did like I think it was TDE, Total Divas Eps, that do the GIFs, that basically said, at this point, Rambling Rabbit is Kenny from South Park.
He has been for a long time.
He always dies, but he always survives. And so Bray and Cena are having a Firefly Funhouse match, which I don't object to.
No, not at all. One of the only things I have any sort of interest in whatsoever.
The thing I am hoping that happens is somehow it involves, because they've said they want to do like weird Hollywood style stuff with it. So I'm just hoping it somehow crashes through some sort of time travel into Southpaw Regional Wrestling and have Chet Jetterfield. Maybe Lance Catamaran if they can get the green screen and the cutting properly involved. Because I think they've been recording it over the last few weeks.
Yeah, they're gonna be doing some more Southpaw sometime coming up soon.
And then Usos New Day with Miz and Morrison, which ended in a double DQ. So Michael Cole channeling his inner email from the anonymous general manager. It's going to be a triple threat ladder match. Goldberg and Reigns go face to face next week. And Cena will confirm or deny the Firefly Funhouse. That all happened. In other news, Dana Brooke is not feeling well. So she's
Yep.
quarantined. Rey Mysterio is quarantined.
Yep.
Drew McIntyre was quarantined. That's why you haven't seen him properly for the last 2 weeks.
I haven't
Because
heard that.
he went to
Scotland?
Glasgow to film all the promos for that BT Sport stuff that's been doing the rounds on the internet today.
That makes sense.
But because he went from the UK, he has to be in self quarantine for 2 weeks to make sure he doesn't have any symptoms. Same went for Bobby Lashley. Because he went to South Africa to try and promote the tour that they were going to have there, which is obviously now off. He's
Yep.
been in isolation for the past 2 weeks. I think the same happened with Sheamus.
I haven't heard that one either.
Sheamus was at the Liverpool Atletico Madrid Champions League match in Liverpool.
Wow. I did not know about Sheamus.
Which was 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because he did interviews in the UK, because there was a thing with Cotaholic. They did. I think it was Manchester or Liverpool, anyway. They did. Again, it's trying to promote the BT Sport, have the British wrestlers over to promote it to the British fans. Except, I mean, they got the Sheamus interview done in time, but the Cotaholic guys were supposed to interview Drew, but that got cancelled because they were flying him immediately back because it was right before they were going to do the travel ban.
Mm-hmm.
So they wanted him back because they don't want somebody stuck in another country not being able to do like one of the big Mania matches. So. And then the other issue. So because this is taped, take all these with a pinch of salt. I don't know how truthful these are, or how many of these trying to feed false information out there.
We get this with Horror Nights
to see
every year.
whether people are gullible. Andrade is injured, so he wasn't able to be part of the Raw Tag Team title match. Reportedly, instead, it was Austin Theory of all people.
Which makes absolutely
That's
no
gonna
sense.
be with I forgot his name.
Garza Jr.
Yeah, Angel Garza. Pants Man.
You know how many Impact tapings I saw him do that? Seriously.
Pants Man. Then the big one was The Miz, of all people. The Miz turned up unwell, so apparently they weren't able to do the ladder match, which apparently somehow became Morrison and one of the Usos, which is even more confusing because you'd have thought if it's supposed to be a triple threat ladder match, which it may still be, why New Day wasn't brought up in that source? Who knows? But because Miz was unwell, the Usos were unhappy which led to apparently Roman saying, "I'm not doing this because I've had leukemia and I'm gonna be immunocompromised for all my life,
Right.
so I don't want to take the risk." Which is very, very fair.
That's the only one that seems kind of accurate. It feels like there's a lot of falsity with some of these rumors.
Whoever's giving the rumors to Meltzer, I think, is doing it to try and make him look like an uncredible place.
Yep, that's probably
The
what's
problem
happening.
is some of these same rumors are also coming from PW Insider.
Hmm.
Um, but the weird thing is, Ryan Satin, who technically works for Fox, but is clearly somewhat endorsed by WWE to some extent because he's part of WWE's backstage coverage and whatever.
Right.
He reported the Roman Reigns bit, and they're not saying anything. My fear is if all these things actually turn out to be true, and card subject to
Cool.
change and all that sort of stuff, is WWE doing all this because they're trying to disguise the fact that there's an issue?
It's really difficult because it's like, first off, it's clear that the only person that wants this mania to happen is Vince, and that's why it's happening. Because it makes more sense to wait until later and do it. Basically, like Brian was saying, like take basically burn through these matches in one night and then make SummerSlam a real big deal this year.
Mm-hmm.
Make SummerSlam your WrestleMania this year, which would make sense. But no, Vince is very hard headed and set in his ways. I know because we know our own. When it comes down to
We
it,
already know.
exactly. You know what? Exactly. The thing about it is, when you look at that, you also look at the fact since he's so hard headed, he wants to be right and he wants to make it work. And Stephanie did some sort of a interview recently, like earlier this week, something about how we're doing this for you guys. We're doing this for the fans. No, because I don't know many people that want WrestleMania to happen right now because it's not WrestleMania. It's basically the creator wrestler from WWE 2K20. When you're starting out in the local gyms, when you're starting out like
And
before
just
you
like
get to,
and just like 2K20, it's broken.
exactly. And we'll speak of the right way to be broken in a little bit, but I want to get this WWE stuff out of the way first since it's Mania, I guess. The thing is, it's not working and it's making it worse. And if they do one last marathon taping and then they send the boys and girls home, well, I'm good with that. But WWE have all this footage they have not even touched that they could use. But actually, I don't know about you, but I don't want to watch old wrestling. Not really.
If
I mean,
it's
I
if it's
will.
good matches, I wouldn't object. Charlotte
It,
Asuka
it,
was pretty decent. The Roman Triple H one was good because oh wow, they already changed it to people cheering for Roman. They did not
I
change.
don't know. This Braun Strowman thing, though. I mean, honestly, when it comes down to it, he comes out of absolute nowhere. But they have to explain why it's happening. They have to use SmackDown this week to explain why these changes are happening. And if they don't, then they are falsifying their show, promising matches they are not delivering on. And that's just bad business
So the card as it stands,
as of this moment.
um, Ripley defending the NXT Women's title against Charlotte.
Right?
I'm interested.
I haven't followed enough of Rhea Ripley at all to really know much about what's going on with that. It's gonna be the first time I've really seen both Baszler and Ripley work, honestly, because I tuned out right before they really caught fire.
Um, Lesnar versus McIntyre for the WWE title. I'm interested.
I am, but at this point, I don't know if basically giving the big win to Drew with an empty arena is a good idea. I'd hold it off.
If UK fans are watching on BT Sport, they won't give a damn. They'll be drunk.
Well,
They'll
if
be
they're
drunk
also
in their own
doing,
homes.
but before we go into that, as we go into another tangent here, Ashley, you know about what they did with the you know how they're getting their fans to they have like a mailing list and they send questions to their fans.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got an email this week that
Oh,
asked me about, have you heard about this?
which one is it?
The one with the marks with the video cameras in a square box around the matches reacting live to the show.
Okay. Sorry, Vince. I sneezed.
It was in a survey. But
Okay.
yeah, like if you take like WWE fans, gullible WWE fans that know nothing but Vince and eat,
Them
sleep, and
Goebbels.
breathe pro wrestling entertainment, you might be fine. Let's say you get a couple smart fans in here. You're not gonna want to listen. You're not gonna want to hear that, and they're not gonna broadcast that, and then it's gonna make it even worse on everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It breaks up the monotony of no crowd, but it's just not working right now.
Yeah, it's complicated. Goldberg versus Roman, or is it Goldberg versus Strowman? Who knows?
Well, I'll
Either
be honest.
way, it's one I'm not that interested in.
Either way, I don't have any interest in either one of them
Becky Lynch.
because hold on, sorry,
Mm-hmm.
because Roman can't win if the match happens. Goldberg shouldn't win. Braun Strowman definitely shouldn't win unless Strowman wins and then Bray vanquishes Cena, and then we get Bray and Strowman for SummerSlam, which I think might be the direction they would go. Because I think with all this bad publicity, it might be a way to turn Braun Strowman heel.
Maybe.
But anybody that beats Goldberg now is going to be looked upon as the face because most people didn't want Goldberg to win the title from the Fiend in the first place.
It's brilliant. They couldn't do. They only did one night of Goldberg getting booed before empty arena, so we can't make him definitively the heel.
Exactly. Becky.
Becky and Baszler, I have moderate interest in. It's changed from no interest, but at the same time, it's not probably where it should be, considering
I'm so
who's
burnt
in the
out on Becky
match
Lynch.
and how I feel it's going to be the kingmaker, queenmaker, if you will, for
Mm-hmm.
Baszler, because I think she's
And that's
winning. If she doesn't,
well that
why the hell did we do all this build up?
well the thing is that's also yeah that's what happened with Charlotte and Asuka too. The thing is when it comes down to it, I think this is going to be the end of Becky and Seth for a while because a lot of people are tired of the acts on both sides, and I think both of
Keep in
them are going to be going
mind,
bye bye for a while.
the rumored plan for SummerSlam was Drew and Seth.
Why?
Monday Night Messiah.
Why are you making a Burgess Meredith reference?
Because he sounds like that.
Good. I don't watch
He's,
Seth Rollins
he
promos.
speaks
Sorry.
through his nose too much. Yeah.
Good lord. Next.
Cena and Wyatt in the Firefly Funhouse match. Yes.
Very much interested. Yes.
Uh, Bailey against Lacey, Naomi, Sasha, and Tamina.
Don't care.
I want Sasha to win because everyone goes, "Oh no, not again." All this hype and everything that people were excited to see Sasha back is going to go to, "Oh God, she she left the company just so she could get the belt back, or tried to
Sasha
threaten
and
to leave the
Bailey at
company, I should
SummerSlam.
say."
Sasha and Bailey at SummerSlam.
Again.
Last woman standing.
Again.
Yeah.
Undertaker and AJ in a Boneyard match. If we ever find out what a Boneyard match is, maybe.
It's a graveyard match.
Yeah, but because we don't officially know, it's like...
They're leaving that up to your imagination.
That's not a good thing.
No, not right now. It's not.
At this rate, I want Undertaker and AJ in a sex dungeon. That ain't happening. Owens and Rollins. They should be able to deliver.
The match will be good.
Yeah. Miz and Morrison, New Day, and Usos in a triple threat ladder match, if it happens.
Whatever that is.
I mean, if it does happen like that, like somehow they tape it, maybe they found another place where they can tape it that isn't the Performance Center somehow, and they're doing it there. If Miz doesn't, if Miz is okay.
Well, that would be where the graveyard, yeah, same thing. The AJ and Taker match and also the Bray and Cena match will be filmed probably at a different location than the other two.
Yeah.
Or we're just going to get N Uso versus John Morrison, which makes no sense because they're going to have to disqualify the New Day. They're going to have to do a lot of rewriting for SmackDown this week to make any of this new card make sense if it's real.
If that's what got filmed.
Don't forget about Cesaro.
You know who we need right now, Owen?
There's a lot of people we need right now.
Dolphins 1925.
That's funny you mentioned him because he actually posting on Twitter the other day.
What?
Spoilers for WrestleMania past. Past WrestleMania.
The actual Dolphins 1925 is live, or is it fake?
May not have been him, but
fake
still,
Dolphins.
Probably fake Dolphins.
Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza. Because it's just been like put together, how can I be invested?
I don't like the Street Profits. Garza's fine. Austin Theory's okay if that match even happens. I don't know. I don't know what to believe at this point. I think we just wait until Saturday and Sunday. And
Aleister Black and Bobby Lashley. How can I be invested?
I definitely am not invested in that match because that match sucks. It's a horrible booked match. Nobody wins.
Elias and King Corbin. How is that going to happen? At this rate, I think it's going to be Corbin versus Gronk, and I want Corbin to win, even though he's the heel.
Can you tell me why they do a storyline like this, where basically something that would pretty much kill off a character? I mean, this used to happen in the Attitude Era all the time. Obviously, people died all the time, but they never died.
Yeah, in 7, 8, 9 days, however you want to look at it, after this supposedly happened, with the whole Corbin trying to kill Elias.
Right.
Elias is going to wrestle.
Yeah, he is.
So, I know it says, hey kids, don't try this at home. Apparently you can fall 15 foot off a thing onto concrete. And you're alright.
Tell that to Superhuman.
Edge and Randy Orton in the Last Man Standing match? Yes. And
Yes,
Sami Zayn, Daniel Bryan for the Intercontinental title?
Yes.
I still say yes.
I am so excited to call that match this weekend. You have no idea.
Who knows what else gets added?
Supposed to be 16 matches on the card, but who knows? Obviously, the Battle Royals are not happening.
My feeling possibly is there is going to be a match as part of the pre-show.
How can well?
Whatever two matches that they need to add. Well, actually, come to think of it, the Ziggler versus Otis match isn't listed on Wiki. So that's 15.
And supposed to be the women's tag title match.
Yeah, that would be 16.
If that happens. Like you were mentioning other people that were not at the taping. They're saying Cesaro, they're saying Buddy Murphy.
Buddy was they're saying Buddy was supposed to be in
On Raw.
Seth's
Seth's
corner,
corner. Yeah.
but wasn't because he was unwell. But on the other side, there were things saying Asuka and Cesaro weren't there, but the reports were they did wrestle, or they were part of whatever they needed to be. So I'm guessing Nakamura and Cesaro are in Zayn's corner, and Asuka and Kairi wrestled
Who
to
knows?
defend their tag belts.
Who knows? They're taking an old school ECW approach to this by not announcing in advance. Unless they're just going to change everything around on SmackDown this week. That's the only thing.
But we'll see.
I won't. You can. I'm going into WrestleMania blind.
The great thing is that apparently they still have Money in the Bank listed as happening for May 10th. Okay.
I'd be okay with that because I mean we get double or nothing that way.
No, but like at that point, it's like, are you sure? To quote that Cena meme, are you sure about that?
We'll see.
So AEW, bumper
Yes.
AEW, because
I want to talk
AEW
about
Dark
AEW.
had 6 matches.
Yeah, it did.
I don't know why.
It was to give us more. It was to give us more matches, and it was basically to use a lot of the indie workers that are not really getting much work. Which I'll give
but
Tony
couldn't you
extreme
spread them
credit for
over
that.
multiple weeks? Because if AEW can't tape at certain points, what's going to happen?
What was basically said is that they did actually film a lot of stuff. Not everything that was shown was filmed. That was it.
So Jake Hager beat Joe Alonzo.
That was fun.
The Natural Nightmares beat Matt Sells and John Cruz.
I like the Serpentico Twitter feed going crazy during that match. That was fun.
SCU beat Sean Spears and the Ego Robert Anthony.
I'm so glad Robert Anthony finally got on television. We'll speak of somebody else getting on television in a minute when we get to the actual Dynamite show.
Oh, you mean, I thought you were going to say Kip Sabian beating Sugar D.
Oh, that match was great.
Sugar
Dunkerton getting a shot was great.
I'm disappointed. Kip Sabian won a match. What's that all about? Cabana beat Brandon Cutler.
I heard bad things about this match, but I didn't really see what the problem was.
Yeah, it was decent.
Cabana's still undefeated. Brandon Cutler's still defeated.
And then Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela beat Corey Hollis and Mike Reed.
Yes.
Sonny Kiss
Corey
is
Hollis
actually wrestling again. Thank God.
Did we talk about the fact that Corey Hollis looked like a mixture of Hangman Page and Chris Benoit?
I see what you mean.
Did you see his tights?
True.
His seriously, his tights looked exactly like Benoit's Four Horsemen tights.
Yeah. No, I get you.
And after watching the second part of the Benoit documentary the other night, that's how much Benoit.
We'll get to that.
I want to gladly.
That's the main event.
Yes, very nice.
So Dynamite itself, Shivani, Cody, and Kenny on commentary.
So good.
Does that make sense?
I liked it.
I mean, it made sense for Excalibur not to travel
Yeah.
across country.
None of the California guys
Although,
got to
full
do
respect
travel.
to Excalibur live tweeting during the stuff.
Oh God, yes.
Still doing stuff.
Especially when most of the AEW commentary was more like how other people would do commentary that don't really have a grasp of all the names of the finishers. But it was entertaining.
The wrestlers were watching it in a trailer.
Yep.
Although at one point when we saw an interview with Dasha, she was in a completely different outfit 10 minutes later, so she has a quick wardrobe, or they didn't pay enough continuity attention. Cody and Jimmy Havoc had a pretty good match.
Solid
The
match
bit I
too.
loved was Excalibur saying when Jimmy had that headset on, you could tell he wanted to swear, but he realised that he was on TNT, so he didn't. Full credit to Jimmy.
I totally agree with you on that one. Cody had to show a little bit more fire towards the end to take care of Jimmy Havoc. Havoc, it was a really good match. That was a solid way to kick off Dynamite too.
Mm-hmm. Then we had the
And then
Jake
Jake Roberts'
Roberts
promo.
promo. You know,
Solid stuff from Jake as always.
and then basically Archer's debuting next week against somebody.
Will not be QT Marshall, I have a feeling. If they're smart, Lance Archer will face Dustin.
Yeah.
That makes the most sense to me.
Then Darby Allin's promo.
God, so good. Ashley, are we under the impression that Nick Mondo is still helping film these promos?
In some shape or form, he might be.
I love it so much. Because I love Mondo's style of promos, like all the old, like really like gritty, like when Moxley before he debuted, all those type of promos. Darby Allin's promos are priceless. He's
Allen
basically saying that Sabian is just a sacrifice.
for the sins of the inner circle.
Yeah. Darby Allin is Sting. Confirmed.
Allen beat Sabian, which is and remember, it's pronounced Norfolk, as in no fucking way is Kip Sabian winning the match. Ignore AEW Dark. Thanks, Tom Campbell. Love you, bye.
So here's the thing. This match was really good. Darby wins with a new finish. She's using the Gibson leg lock now, which is awesome. I like that.
The Last
Sabian
Supper.
is getting, yeah, Sabian's getting better to me, honestly. I mean, when I first saw Kip Sabian, I thought, okay, this is who they brought in because they couldn't get Osprey. Now, I'm under the impression that's not the case. I think Sabian's actually growing into a great character of his own. And Darby is just so good. I like how they were talking about on commentary. I love how they were putting him over as like a young Sting. Darby could be a big deal for AEW if they play their cards right. And I think that he will be.
He should be.
He definitely should be. Speaking of should be, we'll get to that in a second.
Bloody Jake Hager squashing Chico Adams.
Yes! So excited. So great to see my friend Chico get a shot on AEW.
At the same time, it's against Jake Hager, though, so why should I give it down?
See, honestly, if I would have done it the way I would have booked it, if they would have had Moxley come in at the end and cost him the match to build more heat, and then have Hager just destroy Chico after the match, and then Moxley jumps him, I think that would have worked even better.
You know what should have happened? Chico Adams versus Lance Archer. That'd be a squash match I'd be more interested in. than trying to make Jake Hager look strong.
They got to build Hager up for his match against Moxley, because I have a feeling they're pushing that title program for the recent future.
The great thing is, hit the paradigm shift, and Hager practically no-sold it. Didn't entirely, but partially did.
He just kind of upset him somewhat that he just got landed on his forehead for a second.
My fear is they seem to be teasing it maybe as a stretcher match.
It's possible.
Then we have the unnecessary Brody Lee Vince McMahon dig.
I like this. I don't care.
2.
But here's the thing. It's like what they're saying is that Brody is the one that's coming up with this stuff on his own. I don't think they're going to do this every week, but turning the Dark Order from an evil cult into basically a mob, I'm good with. The Dark Order are a mafia now.
Yeah, but I still don't
fine
care.
With that.
I still don't care about them. They've done all this publicity, and it's sort of like it's just another generic stable, but you put a different name to it.
They are not the Aces and Eights, sir.
It might be getting to that point if they don't turn it around, though.
I think they're doing fine.
Aces and Eights started off with more good potential and mystery as to what it was compared to Dark Order.
I loved Aces and Eights. That was a great stable.
Aces and Eights fell off badly.
Yeah.
Dark Order didn't start great, and it looks like it's going Aces and Eights, which is not a good thing.
No, the problem is most of the members of the Dark Order. So they need to bring in someone. They need to turn somebody soon. To at least have another member on their roster.
At least Brody Lee's match with QT was actually decent. Although why he needed to do the Sister Abigail, I really don't know.
Again, just let Brody do what he's got to do. If he wants to do it for some reason, he's doing it as a. I have a feeling
Brody's doing it in memorial to the fucking spider.
That's hilarious.
Then we had the West Coast correspondent Vanguard 1.
That was great.
Doing a medical update, who is 61%, and then he's 62, but it goes back down to 61. Then
That's
Kenny
great.
beat Sammy Guevara to retain the AAA Mega title.
Phenomenal match.
A very good match, yeah.
Would have had the crowd like 100% on their feet.
I mean, it needed to be because it's a AAA match.
Right.
And for that title, so it needs to be solid. We don't need to go back to the days of Killer Cross when he was just a mark with blooming John Morrison.
Sammy with the
2 years ago.
Sammy with the caricatures at ringside. Don't want to forget that.
And then the segment which
split the internet
was the segment that was pre-recorded by about 30 minutes. The word is they recorded it on the Tuesday. Jericho said it was shit.
Right.
So everything happened live apart from the Kip Sabian Darby Allin match on Wednesday. So during that Sabian Allin match, that's when they did all the taping and edited it together that quickly.
That's impressive right there.
So he called out Vanguard 1, wanted him to be in the inner circle.
I love this. I don't care.
That he hated his beliefs, everything he stood for. Which then led the following day to him bloody berating his Rumba. It's just like, this is the new thing.
That was great.
So, Vanguard flew away.
Hold on. We can't forget Jericho calling
Call him what? Hang on. The
A
core.
POS.
Oh yeah.
Because we haven't used the S word quotient for the evening yet, so Jericho had to use it.
But then Hardy showed up in the top tier,
Yep.
and then apparently, and it did look like it was teleportation.
Right. That was the original thought, and then it was
The confirmation now is that makes more sense. Vanguard 1 was doing cheeky projections,
yep, correct.
which makes more sense. Rather than
And
him
that
just like.
works.
Like, Hardy saying he's Damascus and 3,000 years old. AEW is paradise and freedom. An inner circle cannot ruin paradise. And then there was the whole elite, delete, elite, delete. Um,
The old Bugs and Daffy.
the one thing I was disappointed is Hardy's doing the same stuff he's done for the past couple of years. And it's like, how many times is he going to be able to do it and us to go, oh, good, it's that again, before it goes like, yeah.
Again, give it
That's
some
why
time.
Jericho is
Wait
the
till we get
that's why
crowds again.
that's why Jericho is the king of, evolution, if you will.
Right.
He still does those little bits here and there of his old stuff. The never ever, the list,
Yep.
just bits, but they're not the things that you hook on. It's whatever the new crazy thing that he comes up with.
Right.
And then, I mean, Hardy setting off the pyro on the stage.
That was great.
It's just like, okay.
It turned into the Indiana Jones epic stunt spectacular for a minute there.
do, you, do, you, do you think Daniels gave guidance because of Waterworld? make it make it look crazy. um, I can't remember whether they confirmed anything for next week.
No.
The only thing
Nothing
was
I'm
Lance
aware
Archer,
of.
I think.
Lance Archer is the only thing that's been
Lance
officially
Archer's
confirmed for
wrestling.
next week. Because most of the matches, like they filmed a lot apparently, but those are stuff for Dark. And I have a feeling there might be for Dynamite as well if they really need them.
I forgot the best bit. Because there's no Ross. And because there's no Excalibur. We got to the pyro and everything, and the graphics come up. And Tony said, we're out of time. See you on Thunder.
I felt like Cody was having a blast on commentary. Can definitely.
Did he say wait a minute any point? I never took part in a drinking game.
They canceled the drinking game before the show started. On Twitter.
That's
I think
disappointing.
maybe once. I think the conversation that Tony and Cody had about Deep Space Nine was rather interesting as well. With the Chris Pine picture that was one of the caricatures on the seats in ringside. And I like because I've watched the Fight TV version. So they went to commercial at one point when they didn't need to. But you've got like 2 or 3 guys, if that, running the truck. You've got a commentary team. You've got Tony in the back. I mean, there's really not many people running the show because they can't. They're doing the best they can right now. They're going to be. I know you guys are watching this like, oh, I love AEW. Why? And it's like, well, yeah, I do, but I also know that everybody's suffering hardships right now with how they have to produce their shows, especially if they want to be live in any way, shape, or form. I mean, TNT will show what they give them. So I mean, this is something you have to put up.
Yeah.
Like you could show like dark matches from pay-per-views. You can show like pay-per-view matches, and eventually, if it gets that way, it will. But I mean, they're doing well right now for what they have. I think they're doing fine. Now, does the empty arena hurt them in some ways? Oh yeah, for sure. But they're trying to make do with what they've got. Like the gambling with the faces and the heels in the back. I think that's fine. But I wish they could do it around the ringside area. Or again, that was something that Brian mentioned. I agree wholeheartedly about this. Why don't we just put up the gambling on the background, like in the on the big screen, so the gambling can be shown in the background while this is going on?
Hmm.
Maybe not necessarily mic them or anything, but still. And another thing I'll give them credit for was using the lapel mics instead of actual microphones
Yeah,
for the
for
promo.
the
Yeah,
Jericho Hardy
that's unique.
promo.
Yeah, that's very unique. Or I love how Kenny referenced them as the Britney Spears microphones. That was fun.
Yeah, because immediately I was going, "Where's the headset?" Oh wait.
Exactly.
So little bits of news from Dave and the Observer for today,
Right.
which is probably Owen hasn't seen because it sort of came in just as we sort of started this. Apparently,
Really?
the cable night stuff is changing.
The what is changing?
The cable charges for WrestleMania.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Verizon is $30 a night instead.
Huh.
DirecTV and Comcast are charging $35 a night. So it looks as if they've realised charging 60, $70 twice probably isn't good. Or, of course, just get the network with a free trial and see it for free. Oh, that's the other thing. The network went free.
Yeah, but you don't get enough. You get a little bit.
Really? You get every single Mania, every single SummerSlam, every single Royal Rumble, and every single Survivor Series. You get every single NXT takeover and NXT UK takeover. And you get pretty much all the documentary stuff. So the 24s, the Broken Skull sessions, the day ofs, the WWE 365s, which arguably
But
is the better stuff that they do.
right. Well, the thing is, obviously, the reason that I would watch this, other than the pay-per-views, was for the ECW shows and the WCW shows, and I didn't care about WWF stuff. I just wanted to watch WCW and ECW and Smoky
Yeah.
Mountain and just watch all the regional stuff. That's what I wanted to watch, and that's not available for free.
True, but at least there's something, The free, considering the
It's something.
free tier was just WWE.com videos before,
That
at
is
least
true.
it's something for people. They can't watch Mania 36 live, but you've got 35 Manias, 32 or 33 Rumbles and SummerSlams and uh, Survivor Series. Probably
Well,
around about 30 NXT takeovers if you include the UK ones.
Ash, that's kind of a moot point right now because no one can watch WrestleMania live right now.
Well, it's being broadcast live. It's taped. It's being broadcast live. Kevin Dunn's going to be there pressing play. Or something.
Camera 4, camera 2, camera 4, camera 2, camera 4, camera 2.
This seems interesting as well. There was in Pro Wrestling Noah, there was a GHC title match at Korakuen Hall today in front of an empty crowd between Go Shiozaki and Kazuyuki Fujita, which went for
Interesting.
57 minutes and 47 seconds in an empty arena, and apparently the two wrestlers didn't even start wrestling until the 31-minute mark.
This isn't a DDT show.
This
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 is
is
Noah.
GH. This is a GHC title, so this is Pro Wrestling Noah.
Yeah, this is their heavyweight championship, which is
The two never touched until the 31-minute mark.
what?
And people are saying, don't skip the 31 minutes. So I cannot wait till that appears somewhere on the internet for me to try and work out what the hell that's about.
I just rather go watch the social distancing match with
If it's
Joey and Jimmy.
if it's available somehow in 2 weeks, we might react to it if we're running short of like stuff to cover on here after, not next week, but after sort of the Mania aftermath in 2 weeks sort of thing. Because
Yeah,
I'm
so
intrigued as to what's going to happen there.
Ashley pretty much alluded to it, and we're going to stick with it. So yeah, we'll be live next week, and we're going to be doing this Sunday wrap-up show moving forward until we're unable to do it any
Yeah.
longer.
So
Obviously, that means we're nights. So
Saturday and Sunday will be live reacting, and then pretty much
yeah.
within minutes of the show finishing, we're going to go off air. Mainly because I want everybody to go to WrestleView to see their, analysis of the stuff. Don't want to take attention away from them as much as possible anyway. So Becky did an interview on ESPN seemingly indicating that the Becky Shayna match is going to be Saturday.
Okay, that makes sense. Should be the main event of Saturday if they're that important, if it's that much of an important match.
Mania 32 was airing tonight. The one key thing that Dave wanted to bring up, that was the show that had Brock versus Ambrose. Which, if you remember, I mean, in hindsight now, that is the WWE champion versus the AEW champion when the AEW champion got beaten the shit out of in a squash match, practically. Undertaker and Shane McMahon and Hell in a Cell. Charlotte, Becky, and Sasha for the women's championship. Because they changed the belt there and then, I'm pretty sure, wasn't it? I think. It might have been, no, actually, it would have been 33? Or 34? I lose track. Owens, Zayn, Stardust, Miz, Ziggler, Zack Ryder, and Sin Cara for the IC title. Jericho versus AJ. Dwayne showing up because lol. Zack Ryder and Charlotte Flair are doing a watch along for tonight's ESPN coverage of WrestleMania on Instagram. Tomorrow, Rhea Ripley will be on. Mandy Rose on Tuesday, Rhea Ripley on Thursday again, and then Bianca Belair. She still exists on Friday. Oh god, they're actually doing betting on where UFC 249 is going to take place. Of which he's losing it even more, Dana. Blaming the press on why all his shows are having to be cancelled. Not the actual spread of the virus, the press.
Dana is really, really digging himself a deeper hole every day. He says anything on social media at this point.
Joe Rogan says he isn't going to be commentating on it, no matter where it is, so that's good. Then, of course, oh god, John Jones. John Jones. He's the gift that keeps on. John Jones is the Teddy Hart of MMA right now. It's like
That's a good way to put it.
So they heard gunshots. They find Jones driving about, which I don't think the social distancing rules over there are exactly the same as they are over here.
Mm-hmm.
So he sort of could be out and about if he wanted to be. Except they found a gun underneath his car seat. I don't know whether it was spent cartridges or whatever, so he had fired it. I don't know about that, but he stunk of alcohol. There was a bottle of prescription drugs that he seemed to have taken. He was at least twice over the limit, from what I remember, in terms of his drink. Failed the sobriety test apparently pretty badly. The shirt that he did have on seemed to have stains of pot or marijuana, whatever you want to call it.
Good Lord, John Jones, come on.
It's like, woof. Jericho's doing weekly Q&A segments, sing-alongs, and otherwise make an attempt to entertain fans every Saturday night going forward. Have to keep an
I
eye out
I
for that.
I can confirm that this is the case. I also can almost confirm something for next year as long as everything lines up. It sounds like if everything works out the way it's supposed to as of this moment, I'll be able to confirm that I'm going to be joining the third of the Chris Jericho cruises.
Oh,
I'm actually going to be going if everything works out.
if it's happening, we'll see. Let's
Go
hope.
well.
Let's hope. Let's hope.
I need a real vacation.
So somehow
Not
UFC
this.
250 in Brazil is still happening,
Yep.
despite the fact all the gyms have shut. So they're all having to do various adaptations to try to be able to do it.
Yeah, it's like the people that
Um,
run a marathon without any training. It happens.
Apparently, MLW has enough shows in the can for at least a few more weeks,
That's good.
so they'll be able to sort of do stuff there. Wrestle One officially will be running their last show ever this Wednesday out of
Hmm.
Huracan Hall in front of nobody. Uh,
So horrible.
as it says here, it was going out of business and it didn't have anything to do with the coronavirus. It's not like it's going to have nobody showing up. They're having to wrestle in front of nobody because Huracan Hall is closed to the public.
That is correct.
New Japan, in return to that, are not doing shows. I know Stardom's last show was cancelled like the day before after having their Cinderella tournament that was won by Julia, from what I remember. And of course, Mayu Iwatani and Tana Kimura's match went to nothing. Because of course it did. I'm trying to see if there's any more news. No, there doesn't seem to be any news as to what other shows are happening, if any. Let's quickly see if there's anything else a little bit in here. Yeah, smaller companies running events, some with fans in Japan, but the crowds have been small. Pure J and Tokyo Yoshi Pro cancelled events. Marvelous cancelled its show. Sendai Girls, though, did run. So quite a bit. I think Evolve 125 went up for free earlier today.
That sounds right. I know that there was a match recently with Orange Cassidy and Velveteen Dream that they put up recently
No,
too.
but they put up the entire 125 show from last
Oh,
year,
okay.
which had the DDT, Evolve, and NXT talent on the card. I'm guessing. Unsurprisingly, I'm just looking now. The iHeart concert is trending on Fox because of all these famous people actually doing, gigs from home.
Danny O did it first.
Camilla Cabello, Billy Joe Saunders, is it, from Green Day?
Armstrong.
Billy Joe Armstrong. I think Lizzo was doing something. Billie Eilish, Mariah Carey. I know that what's Corden's doing one tomorrow in place of his show, as it would be.
Carpool karaoke?
No, it's people in their houses, similar to what Elton's doing, but it's raising money for another charity. Can't remember exactly what it is off the top of my head. I know it's tomorrow night on CBS. But I think BTS is one of them, from what I vaguely remember.
Their tour just got postponed. That makes sense.
Jeremy Mills is a god.
Yeah, I saw that.
Jeremy Mills just supplied us with the match. We're not doing it now, because we're nearly up on our 2 hours. But we'll save it and reserve for 2 weeks if it's still there. And again, it does say match highlights. It's probably not the full thing.
Let's hope we can stay entertaining next weekend.
Just quickly in terms of the movie fronts, thank you to, I guess, either Entertainment or Styx. Who distributed Gentlemen Out where you guys are? Was it Styx
I don't.
still?
I don't remember.
I'm gonna have to look. I know over here it was Entertainment in Video or whatever you want to call it. Entertainment in Film. Entertainment Film distributed. No, it was distributed by Styx in America.
Yeah, STX.
And Entertainment over here. At least it doesn't seem to be available at the minute anyway on Amazon, but it is available to rent on Google Play, and they're charging $3.50 for it. The standard price for a digital rental. They're not charging 16 quid.
Not bad.
And also full credit to Sony for Bloodshot. They didn't even bother with putting it as a rental. It's just a purchase for, £10 or £14 for the 4K edition. They haven't even bothered to put it. They've just put it up, which probably tells you the quality of the film.
So real quick before fresh off Cody's Twitter, Cody and Tony Schiavone will be doing commentary for Dark Lake. That's confirmed. So there's going to be a Road 2 that's coming up. That's starting really soon. And Cody says it's not the video game, but it may be the other thing fans have been clamoring for.
Okay.
So hopefully some news about Double or Nothing coming before.
So yeah, it's full credit to them. Less credit to Disney though, because Disney Plus launched. It should be a good thing. Mandalorian is released the first 2 episodes, and Mandalorian will be coming out here every week until the 8. I think it was 8 episodes, wasn't it?
I think so. I never watched it. I know I get a lot of flack for that.
So for the next 6 weeks, we get 1 episode each week.
Welcome to television.
No, but okay, they did it for when Disney Plus launched in America, but why do the same for the UK and the other international markets that are only getting it sort of this week, when it's already available as a base thing? I understand with Frozen because there's sort of like agreements with the other people, because obviously it's on other sort of streaming services as a sort of, you can purchase or rent it sort of thing instead, but just because of the way it came out and the way it was released and whatever. Mandalorian is Disney Plus exclusive.
Right.
So all you're basically doing is making people try and find VPNs so they can watch all 8 episodes when you could have them not use VPNs and just give it to them. It'd be different if it was available sort of worldwide and they staggered released it. The fact that all 8 episodes have been out since like Christmas, so since Rise of Skywalker, so we're talking 3 months,
All right.
and we're still doing the staggered release on Disney Plus for Mandalorian. I think it's stupid.
It can be. I see where you're coming from.
Very, very stupid. Just quickly seeing if there's anything. It's great when you just. Oh, there was that bit of. I did see MJF's apparent tough enough. What do you call it? Video.
Yes, tryout video.
Yeah. Which is interesting. So. Oh yeah, I'm just seeing the. I'm trying to remember what the other announcement is for AEW that people have been clamoring for.
Well, we've got the action figures. We've got the TV deal. Pay-per-view. Could it be the second show? Nah, not right now, I would think. Obviously, the video game is the next big one.
But
I
they
can't think what the
obviously
other one.
confirmed that it isn't that.
Soundtrack. The CD. That's possible. Could be a secondary championship. That's a possibility too. Maybe like an AEW Dark title.
I don't know. Well, I mean, we'll have to see. We've got to wait till dark. We've got to wait 14 whatever minutes, When I say 14 minutes, it's more like, 60 minutes times 48.
I am ready for the next show for sure, to say the least. Wednesday is now my designated day of fun. It's the day I walk to McDonald's, get takeout, and then I come and watch AEW Dynamite. So that's my day of fun every week now.
That's it. So, you nearly fight Damien Dunn. No fun done. The other day is no fun. There is no fun.
Got Dark on Tuesday. I've got Dark Side of the Ring to watch now.
Oh yes.
So
for the last 10 minutes, talk about part 2.
Take it home for Dark.
Part two for the Benoit thing, which was still sort of fascinating.
Very much so.
The thing I understand is Jim Ross saying that Chris would never get in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
But the thing I also understand is what Nancy's sister was basically saying she should go in the Hall of Fame.
I could see a reason why you should put her in the Hall of Fame.
Because there aren't many managers around today.
No. We are a
stuff.
lost art, my friend.
But yeah, by the looks of it, if we're going by the order that sort of all the graphics were, in the After Dark thing or whatever they had, afterwards with the comedian, which is
That was awkward.
I saw the first couple of minutes and didn't watch the rest of it. Was it? Any good
It
or?
it was okay in places, but in other places not so much. And when they brought that other guy on at the end, this guy's horrible. And you could just tell the ones that were on the show, like Chavo was checked out because he was trying to be respectful. Dreamer just didn't really want to have anything to do with it. And I can understand that from their perspective too. But it was, they did what they could. But I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what these, because I binge watched season one before I saw the first half of Benoit.
Mm-hmm.
And um, some good stuff. It really is. Oh my God. I can't wait to see what they're doing. Now it's going to tug at my heartstrings because obviously the big one for me is coming up as Owen Hart, which of course is my namesake. So I mean, I'm definitely
But
it's
yeah,
going to be a tough one to
we
watch.
know for sure that
New
next
Jack
week
is
is
next week.
New Jack,
God, I can't wait for that.
including mass transit in that.
Yeah, it's mass transit. They showed a lot of the Vic Grimes stuff, both XPW and ECW.
Um, the other, the next one, I think, going from the list that they had on there, of if that's the order,
Mm-hmm.
is apparently going to be the David Schultz Pro Wrestling is Fake interview.
I don't think that one's going to. I mean, it'll be good, but I don't think it's going to do well wise.
Okay, I think, because I don't think there's been any further news.
For all is going to be an interesting one.
Yeah,
But
I'll quickly go to the other place because PW Insider might have something that Dave hasn't reported, or I doubt it. Well, I guess there was that other the other little bit for the network. They did announce that uncensored versions of Broken Skull podcasts or the Broken Skull sessions are coming.
that's good.
So you're gonna actually hear, the swearing and everything. Oh, and the Great Sasuke documentary is online officially. Yeah, Mikiko Sasaki has released her documentary on Great Sasuke
Hmm.
to give people at home something to watch and things like that.
Can
Um,
someone somewhere put out "You Cannot Kill David Arquette" so I can see it like now, please? I want to see this documentary so much right now, and I have no because its premiere got canceled. So
I'll send the link over to Owen because even though you probably can just search Great Sasuke feature documentary
mm,
because that is the title and it'll come up.
nice.
But yeah, I'd say that is
That's our show.
probably enough for this week. We went roughly about 2 hours.
Yeah, not bad. So Ashley, you can be found on social media.
Ash is my name, UK. Yep.
More snack stash is coming in the near future. Gaming with Ash will be returning as well. AJ is back this weekend. This is technically Sunday's video, even though we don't have Saturday's video. I promise you, by the time that this is up, you will have a Saturday video, even if that means I have to put it on private until I get the Saturday video. But AJ's back with verses, back with movie reviews, and we've also got some brand new segments starting in the near future. I, on the other hand, have got Sip and Snacks coming. I went to the grocery store today and got a bunch of new stuff for Sip and Snacks, so that's going to be coming your way. And we'll be back here every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the weekly wrap up show, which is going to be what we're going to be doing our weekly catch up for WWE, All Elite Wrestling, and movies and more. So,
Although obviously not next week because that'll be sort of incorporated
yeah.
into the 8, 9, 10, however many hours it's going to be. Please, Vince.
We'll be doing
Please.
WrestleMania coverage. Your second screen experience is going to be joining you starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday night and Sunday night. And then we'll go until the show is over. So, like I said, not like to do. So, we're going to do that. And yeah. Oh, I mentioned earlier the Godfather podcasting, the old Osho triple of Big Daddy Donnie, Danny O, and Notorious D.I.D. They're going to be doing a show on at their Facebook Live about 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday. So right before Dynamite, you can check out, or NXT, depending on what you want to watch. You can check out an hour with the Godfathers of podcasting if you'd so like to. And if you like what you hear, then tell us what you think. So next time. So that's going to be your show. Voices of Liberty left, literally. So knowing that I won't be back on the Red Circle until at least May, I am going to be not going to have any Voices content on this channel until right before we go back to open. So stay tuned for that. So if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at Sro and Disney, and that's going to be your show for tonight. Ashley, thank you for joining us this afternoon, this evening,
Some time
and
zone.
I don't know what day it is anymore. In the meantime, I want to thank you guys and girls. And in a world where there are a billion wrestling podcasts, we're very pleased that once more tonight you've chosen a Popcast. Thanks everyone for joining us tonight, whether live or in archive. And that's all we got to say about that.